After watching this video, you will know how to arrange the content of your table in Word. The first thing we are going to look at is how we can swap columns and rows. To swap a column, we first have to highlight the column that we want to move. For that, we move the mouse to the top of the table until the cursor changes to a black arrow. When we now do a left click, the column will be highlighted. Now we press Ctrl and X to cut out the column. And if we now want to insert the column in front of the fourth column, we click in the first cell of the fourth column and press Ctrl and V. If we want to paste the column at the end of our table, then we have to put the cursor directly to the right of the table and again press Ctrl and V. When we want to swap a row, we can use the same method, but for rows there is an easier method. If we want the first row to be moved down, for example, we click into the first row and then simply press Alt, Shift and the downwards arrow. We can of course also use the upwards arrow to move the row up. The next thing we will look at is the alignment of the table content. So when we highlight the table and go to the Layout tab, we can choose any of these custom alignments. Let's set a center alignment for this example. Even if the text direction is changed, the alignment of the table content can be customized. Another way to influence our content is by changing the cell margins. In this window we can set the margins for each side. So when we want the text to start at the very beginning of the cell, we only have to set the left margin to 0. In the cell margins dialog we can also set a cell spacing, which will give the cells a nice block layout. Let's look at longer tables now. If we have a table which takes up multiple pages, we often want the heading rows of the table to be repeated on each page. To achieve this, we first need to open the table properties by right-clicking into the table and selecting Table Properties. And now it is important to set the text wrapping of the table to None. After we did this, we highlight the number of rows that should be repeated on each page. Then we go to the Layout tab and here we click on Repeat Header Rows. The last thing I want to show you in this video is how we can sort the content in our table. To sort the content, we click into the table, go to the Layout tab and click on Sort. In the new dialog window, we then have to choose the column that will determine the sorting of the table, and we have to choose the content type of the column. And of course, we can also choose if we want an ascending or descending sorting. And that's it. Now you know how you can arrange the content of a table in Word. Watch the other videos to learn more about tables.